Guys, what are we looking at today? Well, we are going to look at 5 true tactical knives. And this one's a custom. This one, a lot of these knives are going to get their own videos, but I thought we would do a quick 5 fast and just take a quick look at them, and then we can look at them individually. So, you guys know the deal. I have to do the YouTuber thing. The channel is self-sponsored. There's a bunch of affiliate links down in the description. Anything you purchase supports the channel directly. I would greatly appreciate it if there's anything you're going to purchase that you use those affiliate links. So without any further ado, we're not going to take a look at these here. We're going to turn this around and take a look at it from above. So turn down the volume because here comes a little bit of music. Let me tell you, there is a whole lot of mean steel on this workbench right now. So we are going to get into this and take a look at these 5 tactical, true tactical knives. So we've got a bunch of different showings. I have a SOG, Gerber, there's a custom made by me, another custom made by another guy. So let's go ahead and take a look at, of course, the one that I made first, because I don't have to look anything up for that one. So not everyone watching may know, but at one point I did make custom knives, and I like to think I did a pretty good job of it. This is a full custom version of my STONEFISH combat utility tactical combat fighter, tactical, compact fighter, however you want to look at it. This one was done for my friend Tino. This was a completely full hand ground, polished and then stone washed. He's used it a lot, so you see some scratches on it. With a rock pattern on the spine, he wanted some grooves in it, and then he also wanted a tiger stripe pattern to match on both sides. You're not gonna find a tiger stripe pattern that's been blasted on that's going to match up much better. We did Kevlar handles with titanium screws. This is done in 20 CV at 64 Rockwell. I'm not going to lie to you. He is the only person that has ever been able to talk me into making Kevlar handles. These are a nightmare. Our buddy Nico actually clear coated these so that the what do you call it? Thunderstorm Kevlar would stop coming apart. So it's Kevlar with copper wire in it to give it a look. And then I torched it to get a specific color. We actually have 3 of my customs that are all done for my buddy Tino that we're going to look at on the channel here soon. But completely hand ground, free hand grind, no jig, everything you would want. This thing is really comfortable in hand. I tested this with some of my friends that were SEALs. I gave them to them, and when I finally came up with a version of it that they said don't change anything, that's the version we stuck with. This is a 1-for-1 if you were to look at the version that they sell online as a production version, 1-to-1. They are as close as you're going to get in a production version of a handmade knife. These things were not easy to make. Everything about it is a pain. I worked really hard to make sure it had a distal taste burr, and all of the ones that I handmade have a little bit of thickness at the tip intentionally to prevent breakage of the tip. The 20 CV on it holds a great edge because it's a custom heat treat. I'm really proud of this one. This is probably one of the best showings of any of the knives I made. Made the handles by hand, chamfered the handles by hand. This didn't go on a mill. This was all done by hand, eyeballing it and making sure that these areas met up and cleaning it up and sanding it, doing it on a Scotch-Brite. So there you go. A knife I'm really proud of, one of my customs. And I have to do a shout out to Armitage Carey for some of the best Kydex sheaths on the planet that he made for all of the custom knives I ever made. So there you go. Custom STONEFISH combat utility fighter made by me. All right, guys, this one is really special. This is another custom knife that was done by a guy named JBALL at JBALL Knives on Instagram. He's out in Texas, and this was a 16-month wait. Tino ordered this and had it like commissioned, knew exactly what he wanted. This is a recurve fighter in W2 steel with a true hamon, hand forged, hand hammered with sandalwood scales, G10 pins, and this thing is gorgeous. I honestly have to say this is probably one of the most striking knives I've seen. I reached out to Jared a while back. I want to get him on the channel, but I wanted to have done the video first, so I'm going to reach out to him. We may be able to get him on the channel this Friday. This thing is gorgeous. It's a hand-hammered, hand-forged W2 blade down to a recurve. It is really thin behind the edge, super comfortable in hand. Those scales are just gorgeous. These are Rob's Wildwood sandalwood grips with G10 pins. And I'm not gonna lie, Jared did an amazing job on this. It's got a beautiful swedge. You can see the hamon all the way through it. In hand, this is about as comfortable as any custom knife I've ever had. This is going to get its own full video. The only gripe I have is it's a little sharp right here. That's it. And I mean, you could easily take care of that with a file or on a Scotch-Brite wheel if you were the owner. This thing is nuts, and the balance on it is so good. There's his logo in the blade, JB Knives. That hamon is just amazing. I don't know how he got that coloration, but this thing looks like something out of Lord of the Rings. It's a true piece of art, but I will tell you, when Tino got this, I was amazed at how incredibly sharp and thin this was for a knife that had been hand forged, and how consistent. This thing is truly gorgeous. It is balanced just perfect, and it is truly a fighting knife. It's a fighter with a hammered leather sheath. The only thing I wish is there was a way to do it scout carry, but that sheath is gorgeous, and the retention on it is really good. This is a beautiful sheath as well as a beautiful knife. So there you go. JBALL Knives on Instagram if you want to hit him up and order one. It was like $70 an inch for this knife, I believe. It was not a crazy expensive build either. So there you go. The Jared Ball JB Knives, or JBALL Knives, full custom fighter. Any background knives? It's because my wife is making a cheesecake. Now, this knife, I love this knife. I have to tell you, it has a little backstory, so we might go a little long on this segment, more than like the 2 minutes I'm trying to allow for the knives. But this is the Bob Terzuola Tamashi, and it is a fixed blade tactical knife done by Civivi. Now, the reason I kind of love this knife, and it has a funny story behind it. When this knife came out, my Sea Snake was also entered in the same competition as this knife for best tactical fixed blade. And I asked everyone, I was like, why in God's name would you enter my knife into the tactical fixed blade competition? And they said, why? I said, you do know that Bob Terzuola has a fixed blade in the tactical knife competition. And they were like, so? And I was like, you don't get it. No one beats Bob Terzuola when it comes to tactical knives, and you can see why. This is a beautiful showing. And when I came in the next day, they were like, hey, they did the judging. Did you go see how your knife did? And I was like, I don't have to. I already know who won. This did win Best Tactical Fixed Blade at Blade Show West. This is the Tamashi. It is a fixed blade tactical knife that is very inspired by Japanese tantos, Japanese fighting knives. This is done in D2 by Civivi. This thing is just as perfect as a knife could ever feel in hand, as you would expect from knife royalty like Bob Terzuola. They did a really good job on this. I would love to see a custom version of this once in my life, just to hold it. It's done with G10 handles that are incredibly well ground. Like I said, D2 steel. It is very sharp, beautifully shaped. In hand, it is perfect for slicing. Nice piercing tip with that swedge that comes up. This is a tactical knife. It has got all the trappings of what you would want in a small fixed blade tactical. Piercing, cutting, call grip. It's going to be really good. I'm not a big fan of the lanyard being on it, but you know, it's not my knife, so I'm not going to take it off. This is my buddy Tino's knife. Jimping up here for heavy duty cutting and piercing. And I'm not going to lie, this thing is perfectly shaped. Bob always gets it right every time, but you know, as many years as he's been making knives, it makes sense. They don't call him the godfather of the tactical knife for no good reason. There is a definite reason they call him that. Just a beautiful knife from an incredibly good and kind designer. So there you go, the Terzuola Tamashi. And I would like to remind everyone, I don't know if you guys know this, but the tech locks that you guys get on all your knives, this is not truly a tech lock per se, but tech locks that you get were designed. Bob Terzuola is the first person who ever made a tech lock. Bob Terzuola designed the tech lock. So that should tell you everything right there about the man's knowledge of not only what makes a good knife, but how to carry a knife. So there you go. Let's switch on to the next knife. So I had to jump on this video. There's a reason why I kind of had to jump on this video, is because I wanted to have this knife in the video, but I have a limited amount of time where this knife will be available, because this is a knife that my buddy Tino bought for his father, because his father was a Vietnam Green Beret attached to the 5th Special Operations Group, Special Forces Group, I mean, in Vietnam. This is the SOG Vietnam Bowie fixed blade. This is a reissue of the ones that were made for the 5th Special Forces Group that were in Vietnam at the time. It is a gorgeous hand ground knife. Tino had to look really, really hard. And the reason I had to jump on this is going in his father's shadow box. So beautiful stacked leather hardware that is done in the traditional fashion, exactly like the originals were. Blued hardware, blued blade. This thing is nuts sharp. It is gorgeous, gorgeous blade. Super well done and polished. And I have to say, this is probably one of the best feeling knives. The balance on this is perfect. This knife is the knife that I would have wanted as a military member, instead of the stuff they issued to me. I designed my STONEFISH for that purpose, but I'm not going to lie to you, this knife would be it. This knife is about perfect in a fighter role. This is a true tactical knife. So this was a special edition one. You cannot, these things are about $850 right now in this condition. And this is a very special thing. And it's kind of cool that Tino went to the trouble of finding something like that for his father to be able to put in a shadow box for him, because everybody that's ever been in the military knows there are some things that have a special association with the time you spent in the military. And this is definitely one of those things, probably for his father, that's going to bring back a lot of very, very fond memories when he looks at it in that box. So these are an amazing knife. So comfortable in hand. And then it comes with a beautiful, beautiful sheath. This is SOG Specialties, Santa Monica, California. Even comes with a sharpening stone. This is true to form. This is what the originals looked like. So let's go ahead and get this back to Tino and his dad. I'm going to shoot a full video with full description of the knife, so that I can get this back to Tino so he can get it put in a shadow box for his father, Steve, who is a great dude. I love Tino's dad, and it's pretty cool that Tino went out of his way to do this for his father. So there you go, the SOG Tactical Fixed Blade Bowie, Special Forces Bowie. So we'll do a full video on this one. Here you go, guys. This is the Gerber Mark II dagger. This is a very large dagger that has been around since 1966, first designed and built in 1966. This is a reissue. The serrations on the originals were a little bit different, but this is another little piece of history. These are 440C with an oxide coating, cast aluminum handles. It is balanced so well. This thing is an amazing image of what you would expect of a large fighting knife from that era. This thing is so comfortable in hand because it's got this Coke bottle style handle, skull breaker back here. Like I said, this is all cast aluminum and it's oxide coated as well. It's got a lanyard hole. Now these serrations, I don't know really how well these serrations would do for cutting. I don't know. I think they're just more there for aesthetics at this point, but this thing is very nasty. It is long. It is a big, long dagger. This is going to get its own video as well. This was in a video once before, but these were done. I don't know if they even make these anymore. I don't know if you can even find them, but they have been around since the 60s. This is another knife that made it through the Vietnam era. It was carried in Vietnam, issued in Vietnam. Lots of folks carried these. So this is just a lot of fun. We'll do a full video about it. I'll get the history and everything put together, but this is a knife that anytime I can get it out of Tino's house and borrow it, I definitely will. It's usually attached to his bug out gear that he keeps at his house for stuff in case, you know, the zombies attack. So man, this thing is so much fun. I always wanted one of these. I've seen them reissued, and I've seen them out, and I've seen them for sale, and I just always seem to miss them. And then I forget about them, and then I go over to Tino's house and I see it. I'm like, hey man, I need to borrow that again for a little bit. So there you go, guys. Oh, the sheath on it, really cool. You can do it as scout carry. You can lash it to your gear. Tino has got some body armor that he keeps for bug out gear in case, you know, the apocalypse. And this is usually strapped to his gear. So these are really cool, but it will fit on Alice gear and LBEs and things like that. So there you go, guys. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
There you go, guys. There was 5 true tactical knives, so you know they're all fixed blades. I have to say, it's kind of cool to be able to have this one back on the channel. I think that this is probably the best of the custom knives that I made because the guy that ordered this had a bunch of things that he wanted done that kind of pushed the limits of what I'd done, and I think I wound up coming to the task quite well. So there you go, guys. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I can't change that content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. But if you do hit the bell icon, make sure you turn on notifications on your device or you will not get notified of everything I put up. If you do want to support the channel financially, like I said at the beginning, a bunch of affiliate links and stuff down below. Anything you purchase supports the channel. I have Amazon, I have Blade HQ, I have a VPN, I have a Coffee Brown Coffee, all kinds of stuff down there. Anything you purchase directly supports the channel. I also have a membership down below that is tier-based. Pick the tier that suits you best, gets you what you want out of the membership. But remember, everyone saves $5 off the sharpening service. Everyone has access to the Gilded server. And if you are a premium tier member, you have access to a sharpening tutorial series that I've put up for those guys. And the final way is I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co. If you choose to use that and you go to Ember Shirt Co., I can save you 10% anywhere on Ember Shirt Co. with the coupon code CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S. CrazySharp saves you 10% at checkout. And if you send me pictures of you wearing my merchandise, I will put them in a video. Guys, I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I will see you in the next video.